What's going on, people? Welcome to the Awareness Channel. My name is TC. All right. Um, so the other day, checking out news stories, and I come across this clip. And apparently they was having some event, not sure what was going on, at Al Sharpton's um, foundation. I think it's foundation, National Action Network. They was honoring somebody, youth or something. And a brother got up and he asked everybody to raise their hand. And he said, how many people in here under 35? And he counted 4 people. And he said, he was talking about how young people are not voting just to be voting. He said, when y'all come to us to ask for our check, our vote, make sure you have our check. And he said some other stuff about the same old policy that the Democrats have had for a long time, taking our vote for granted. Thinking that, just because we're not the Republicans, we somehow better. I said this many times before, they don't realize the power of the black vote. They really don't. But the power of the black vote is in effect right now because about, I want to say 10, 11% of us stayed home in the last election, presidential election. Now, it could be argued that that is the part that probably would have pushed Kamala over the top. But we already know Kamala says she ain't doing nothing for black people. But there she sits, getting ready to run for president again. She really thinks she's going to win this time. She really does think she's going to win, and she might come in as the front runner. But personally, I think she underestimates just how racist the United States still is. Second, the United States foreign policy going to stay basically the same. Basically, I say, because now, wait a minute, now this big thing is going on in the Middle East. Big thing going on in the Middle East or Western Asia. And it's going to make that place look entirely different. But whoever the next president is, they're not going to switch sides or anything. They might stop what's going on, but they're not going to switch sides because they both being paid by the same lobby. Now, one had sense enough to not go to war, but they couldn't wait till they got a clown in there that was stupid enough to go to war, and they got what they want. And now it's got to be run to its bitter end, I guess, because one side ain't giving up and the other side ain't giving up. And both countries really going to come out totally and completely different after this is over. In the United States is not going to be in the position it was before that. And whoever the new president is coming in, gotta be totally different somehow. But I doubt, looking at the people who are running for president. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris's husband comes from the community that's involved in that shit that's in the Middle East. You feel me? So there's that. But the black vote, back to the black vote. Yeah, we got to get something for our vote. And it's because we stayed home that Donald Trump got pushed his funky, shitty ass back into the White House. But the Democrats don't want to do that. They want to run the same old playbook. And the young brother was like, y'all got to have our check. Al Sharpton was like, he either stupid or he a op. Because, Al gets up there and he think he the smartest motherfucker in the room. But we all know Al Sharpton is an op. Been one for a long time. See, me and Al Sharpton, we about the same age. He's about a year older than me. Maybe 2 years tops older than me. But I remember the same shit he remembers. And I was a grown ass man when them FBI tapes came out. Back when Al Sharpton still was fat. And once you get in the FBI, you don't get out. Once you the informant, you stay the informant. Why do you think he's still around? You feel me? He had to keep niggas under control. I mean, that's all he there for. Keep people right where they at. That's what Al Sharpton is for. And what was that other? Jim Clyburn from, I think it's South Carolina. That's what these old cats is for. Jim Clyburn has got to be 80, though. It's time for him to go ahead and retire if he hasn't already. But they got a bunch of them coming up behind him. Hakeem Jeffries. I forget that governor. I think he's governor of Virginia. I forget his name. Black dude. Anyway, all of them. They corporate Democrats. That's all they are. So they're going to swing the thing back to the left. And it's going to stop just left to center. That's it. The pendulum, I mean. But don't expect too motherfucking much. Don't expect too motherfucking much. And black people, we already know how they get down. So we require something for our vote other than we not Donald Trump. You feel me? Now, I'm going to give Jack his jacket. She laid out some pretty good programs when she was trying to run for president. She only had like 100 days or something. She had some good programs, but that shit had to go through a Republican Congress, probably. But they stand to get both houses and the presidency. But here's what probably going to happen. They're going to get some shit passed, but there's always going to be one so-called Democrat that's blocking and gumming up the works and keeping shit at a certain level. There's always one. Always one. They put there on purpose. They put there to make sure shit don't get too good around this place. And they'll call himself a Democrat, but he'll be voting with the Republicans all the time. There's always, so shit don't change that much. The reason why things have changed the way they have now is because you got a lunatic who hired a bunch of TV show hosts and, dare I say it, white supremacists in his administration. So they own some other shit. They own Project 2025. That's some other shit. The Democrats, if they serious about taking power, and if they serious about wielding power once they get it, they need to come up with their own plan just as radical as Project 2025. You feel me? But they won't do that. They won't do that because they run in the same motherfucking sorry ass Democratic politicians. And the Congressional Black Caucus is totally useless. Them same old that they always did. And that's all there is to it. So don't look for no Medicare for all. Don't look for no health care. Oh, and reparations. The brother's talking about reparations. Let me tell y'all something. Us black people, American blacks, we're first ones to resurrect the reparations argument back in 2014, 15, 16 when we started exposing how conscious we were. Everybody changed that to woke. What we meant by woke, well, y'all know the story. But anyway, I digress. We started talking about reparations back then. Everybody told us we was out of our motherfucking mind. But I was telling people, I don't give a fuck whether you think I'm crazy or not. Reparations, that argument needs to be out there on the fucking table. Keep stuffing it in their face, I used to say. Now, everybody and their goddamn mama is asking for reparations. The Iranians want their reparations for this shit that the United States did. Jamaicans are suing for reparations. If you look around and do a little research, you'll see all of the reparations claimed out there by indigenous people. You might even see ours. American blacks should sue for reparations. But like I said, we are the ones who resurrected the whole argument. And the young brother was saying, that's what it's time for. I'm telling you. But at the end of the day, reparations notwithstanding, at the end of the day, though, I feel like the United States as a whole is too racist at its core to do it. And I still believe, like I believed all them years ago, that if the United States was to give its black people reparations, like it's supposed to, and stop talking about it and studying it and just fucking do it, it would snowball. It would set a precedent, and reparations have to be paid out to everybody else in the world who is owed some money by a fucking colonizer and a slaver and somebody that set up a second-class citizenship policy in their country, like South Africa or something. Everybody will be. And I don't want to say the world will go broke, because it won't. It's just be a goddamn transfer of wealth over to black people, over to indigenous people, that the Europeans don't want to see happen. Anyway, I gotta go, y'all. This video ran a little long, but that's okay. You feel me? I'm gonna be changing my whole motherfucking backdrop. As you can see, it's a lot less busy behind me, but I'm moving into a new studio in the next, I don't know when this motherfucking house sell, I guess. But I'm moving into a new studio and I'm gonna have a whole new background. Try to step my motherfucking game up. Anyway, that's it for now, y'all. Y'all have a good rest of y'all Wednesday night, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. TC, and I'm out. Peace.